how you doing? This is TV and school. Вивчаємо з тобою ми англійську. How are you? Що скажеш, коли ти зустрінеш якогось іноземця? So, let's speak English. Англійська мова Шекспіра та нью-йоркських таксистів. Англійська стане у нагоді вам, бойс і дівчиська.
Hello everyone, my name is Anna, and today we are going to talk about youth clubs and organizations. You're watching an English lesson, so let's start. Before we get to our topic, actually, you had a home assignment for today. So you had to learn the words from the previous lesson. Now we're going to check how well you remember the words. So our task is to fill in the sentences with the words that you can see on the board. Two of these words are extra. It means that we do not need to use them. Отже, зараз ми з вами перевіримо домашнє завдання, наскільки добре ви пам'ятаєте слова з попереднього уроку. Наше завдання – вставити слова у відповідні пропуски у тексті. So, let's take a look at the words, let's revise them, and then we will read the text. So, respect, unique, follow, outfit, scruffily, spender, status, weird, upside, and boutique. So, all these words were learned on the last lesson. Now, let's figure out which gaps need which word. So, let's begin. I'm not a fashionista. I tend not to every fashion trend. They change so fast. I think style is more important. I never plan my before I leave home. I know which clothes look nice on me, so I don't spend time doing it. As I'm not addicted to fashion, I don't buy expensive clothes. So yeah, I'm definitely not a. I prefer to shop in mass market brand stores or at local shops. I'm not a fan of luxury. I understand that clothes may reflect your social, so I just try to look neat and cute. However, when I go out with my friends, I can put on something really unusual, even something. Anyway, I guess it's very important too. People's choices in what they want to wear. We are all so different, and clothes can help to show how people are. Okay, now let's take a look at the text once again. And now, I hope that you already have some ideas of which words to use in each gap. Now, let's check your ideas. So, gap number 1. I'm not a fashionista. I tend not to do something with every fashion trend. So, when we talk about fashion trends, we can use the word follow. So, I tend not to follow fashion trends. Number 2. I think style is more important and I never plan my something before I leave home. So, style is more important. We're talking about clothes, so probably the person is planning the set of clothes. Here we will use the word outfit. The next one. I'm not addicted to fashion. I don't buy expensive clothes. So, yeah, I'm definitely not a who. What kind of a person are we talking about here? Probably the person who does not waste much money on clothes. We call a person who is vice versa, on the opposite, a spender. So the person who does spend much money. And as you can see, this person is not of this type. So number 4 now. I'm not a fan of luxury. What can it be? What are we talking about? We are talking about boutiques. Shops, mass market brand stores, and so on. So the person is not fond of luxury boutiques. The 5th one. I understand that clothes may reflect your social something. So which word do you think matches this gap? Social status, of course. Your position in society. Number 6. So I can put on something really unusual, even something. What? Respect, unique, scruffily, weird, or upside. So probably we're talking about something strange or something weird. Number 7. I guess it's very important to do something with people's choices in close. So what do we do with them? If we show that we appreciate them, we are okay with them, we actually respect. So we respect people's choices. And the last one, the last gap, number 8, and close can help to show how something people are. So here we describe people, and we're talking about how special each person is. Here we will use the word unique. Okay, now as we have recalled the information that you learned on the previous lesson, we can move forward. So, as it has already been mentioned, today we're going to talk about youth organizations. But what is a youth organization actually? So, here you can see a definition. A youth organization is a type of organization with a focus upon providing activities and socialization for teenagers. So basically, this is like a club where you can go and you can reveal your talents, you can socialize, and you can communicate with people that you have same talents or interests. So there are actually lots of different organizations around the world. They are national, they are worldwide. Now let's take a look at the most famous ones. So here you can see the logos, the emblems of the organizations. 4H, that's actually a US-based network. Erasmus student network. So as you can understand, that's something more connected with universities. That's actually a Europe-wide student organization. The Scout movement, also known as Scouting or the Scouts. You probably have heard of that a lot. Another one is the Plus National Scout Organization of Ukraine. So, and the last one here, the Ukrainian Youth Association. Now let's take a look at each organization separately so that you learn more about them. So let's take a look at the first one here. It's 4H. As you already know, it's US-based network of students, of school children, and its goal is to develop citizenship, leadership, responsibility, and life skills. Another association, another organization for youth is Erasmus Student Network. Its goal is to support and develop student exchange on a local, national, and international level. So basically, it means that you can enter a university in Europe and study there for a year, for example. What about the next one? The Scout movement, probably one of the most famous movements around the world. Its goal is actually to contribute to the development of young people in achieving their full physical, intellectual, emotional, social, and spiritual potentials. Another one is actually the Ukrainian part of the Scout organization of Scout movement. This is the Plast, already quite important and quite famous one in Ukraine. Goal: to promote patriotic upbringing and self-education of Ukrainian youth. And here in the picture, you actually can see the post stamp that was created for the 100th anniversary of the Plast movement. And the last one is the Ukrainian Youth Association. The association's goal is to unite the Ukrainian youth all over the world and bring up the people who cherish Ukraine, its culture, and national identity. So, in these organizations, students and children usually unite together, they do different activities, and they try to develop themselves in social aspects and in art aspects too. Let's take a look at the questions. So, do you belong to any clubs in high school? Do you participate in any youth clubs or organizations? So, what about you? And now that you have already heard of the organizations that exist in Ukraine, and they also exist all around the world, in Europe, in the USA, in the UK, would you like to take part in such youth organizations? And what youth organizations do you know that exist in Great Britain? So, now that you have thought of these questions, let's move to another task. Now we're going to read the text about main youth organizations in Great Britain. And after the text, we will check how well you remember the facts. So, let's read and listen. Main youth organizations in Great Britain. In Great Britain, there is a number of youth organizations that work under the British Youth Council, BYC. The Council was founded in 1949. There are about 60 youth organizations. The most popular and well-known organizations are the National Union of Students, the Scouts, and Girls Guides associations. The activities of these organizations include tourism for young people, sports, canoeing, sailing, skiing, camping, and mountain walking, including map reading, orienteering, and cooking. In Boy Scouts and Girls Guides Association, boys and girls belong to different sections. The members are to take an oath to be loyal to the Queen and God and to help other people. The Scout Association was formed in 1908 after the appearance of the book Scouting for Boys. The movement started in England, but it very quickly spread to other countries. Besides their ordinary education, they go in for such activities as learning all about running of camps, mapping, signaling, knotting, and first aid. The National Union of Students was founded in 1922. The aim of the organization was to develop cooperation with the students of different countries to defend the interests of college and school students. The organization is non-political. They now challenge students to shape the future of education and create a better world. Thus, youth organizations in Britain have been established to serve the needs of young people of different backgrounds and purposes. Okay, now that we have read the text, let's check your understanding. So, test yourself. Here you can see 5 questions that are meant to check how well you remember the facts mentioned in the text. Let's start with the first one. So, BYC stands for A. British Youth Club, B. Britain Young Council, or C. British Youth Council. Do you remember what exactly was mentioned in the text? That's C. British Youth Council. The next one, number 2. In youth organizations, cooking is not included into the list of activities. Is it true or false? Do they learn how to cook in the Scouts organization, for example? Of course, it's false. They do learn how to cook. Number 3. The movement of the Scouts started in England, Scotland, Wales, the USA. So probably people know that the USA is one of the biggest countries with the most popular Scouts movement. However, it actually started in England. Number 4. The National Union of Students was founded in 1992, 1929, or 1922. What do you remember from the text? Of course, that's answer C, 1922. Okay, and the 5th question now. Youth organizations in Britain have been established to serve the needs of the Queen, the people of the UK, elderly people, or young people. So, of course, we will choose the young people for this one. Okay, good. Now that we have checked your understanding, let's move to some more difficult things. As you remember, this topic we are talking about infinitive and gerund. So, what is gerund? This is the verb that is transformed into a noun by adding ing. So, you already know some facts about the gerund. Now, there is a thing that you just need to memorize. So, here we can see the verbs that are usually followed by gerund. Отже, на дошці ми бачимо ті дієслова, після яких ми зазвичай використовуємо герундії, тобто закінчення ing. Let's take a look. The words are deny, He denied committing the crime. Mention. He mentioned going to that college. Imagine. He imagines working there one day. Tolerate. I tolerated her talking. Understand. I understand his quitting. Involve. The job involves traveling to Japan once a month. Complete. He completed renovating the house. Report. He reported her stealing the money. Anticipate. I anticipated arriving late. And the last one, recall. Tom recalled using his credit card at the store. So, these verbs are usually followed by ing. What about the infinitive? There is also a set of the verbs that are followed by to plus infinitive. Let's take a look at these ones too. So, the first word is expect. They expect to arrive early, or they expect Julie to arrive early. We have a tiny star next to this word, and actually not only with the verb expect. Let's take a look at the line in the bottom of the slide. We can use an object before the infinitive with these verbs. Отже, ми можемо після таких дієслів, які у нас тут з зірочкою, вживати додаток. Тобто ми говоримо до когось, ми до когось звертаємося і можемо казати після цих дієслів, відповідно, до кого ми звертаємось. Наприклад, expect somebody to do something. Ми очікуємо, що хтось щось зробить. And another one is intend. This has no star, so usually it is not followed by the object, but it is followed by infinitive, to plus verb, at once. Take a look at the example. We intend to visit you next spring. The next word is pretend. The child pretended to be nice. Refuse. The guard refused to let them enter the building. Tend. He tends to be a little shy. Would prefer. Pay attention. This one has a star and it can be used with the object. I'd prefer to do it. Or I'd prefer him to do it. Отже, слово him в даному випадку є додатком. Ми можемо після would prefer його вживати. The next word is deserve. He deserves to go to jail. Appear. His health appeared to be better. Arrange. Naomi arranged to stay with her cousin in Miami. And claim. She claimed to be a princess. So, these verbs are followed by the infinitive, which is to plus verb. Okay, now our task is to practice, of course. Our task is to put the verb into the gerund or the infinitive with to. So it might be a little bit difficult, but we can do it. So let's take a look at the first one. It appears be rainy. Do you remember which form of the verb, ing or to plus infinitive, we will use after the verb appear? Okay, right you are. It appears to be raining. So after appear, we use infinitive. Number 2, we intend go to the countryside this weekend. Intend to go or intend going. Which one is correct? And there is actually only one. So yeah, that's to go. We intend to go to the countryside. The next sentence, number 3, I pretended to be sick or being sick, so I didn't have to go to work. Which one will we use here? I pretended to be sick. So after pretend, we'll use to be. Another one is number 4. Can you imagine live without a smartphone? So can you imagine living or can you imagine to live? We will use living, the ing form after the verb imagine. The next one, number 5. The teenager refused go on holiday with his parents. So the teenager refused going or the teenager refused to go. What is followed by this word? Here we will use to go, of course. The next one, number 6. I anticipate arrive on Tuesday. So anticipate to arrive or anticipate arriving. Of course, it has to be the gerund. So anticipate arriving on Tuesday. Number 7. A wedding involves negotiate with everyone in the family. First of all, what is negotiate? That's actually a synonym to talk, to communicate. Отже, negotiate – говорити, спілкуватись. And the word involves, is it followed by a gerund or infinitive? Shall we use negotiating or to negotiate? Of course, here we will use the ing. It involves doing something. It involves negotiating. The next one, number 8. He denies steal the money. So he denies stealing or he denies to steal. Of course, it's stealing. Number 9. He claims be a millionaire, but I don't believe him. So which form of the verb will we use after claim? Is it ing or is it the infinitive? Here we will need the infinitive, of course. He claims to be a millionaire. The next one, I expect be there about 7. Which form of the verb do we use after expect? Of course, that's the infinitive. We will say, I expect to be there. Number 11. Julia reported see the boys to the police. So seeing or to see. She reported seeing the boys to the police. Number 12. It tends to rain or raining a lot in Scotland. After the verb tend, we will use the infinitive. So it tends to rain. Number 13. Do you recall meet her at the party last week? Do you recall to meet or do you recall meeting? Here we will need the gerund, of course. So do you recall meeting her? The 14th one. She mentioned go to the cinema, but I don't know what she decided to do in the end. So did she mention to go or did she mention going? She mentioned going to the cinema, of course. And the last one here, number 15. I would prefer you come early if you can. So do we have the ing here or do we have the infinitive? We'll definitely have to say, I would prefer you to come early if you can. Great job! Well done! You've finished this exercise. Now your task is to memorize the words that are followed by the gerund and infinitive. And here is your home assignment, actually. You have to make 5 sentences with gerund using the words that you can see now. Deny, mention, imagine, tolerate, understand, involve, complete, report, anticipate, and recall. So, these verbs are actually followed by gerund. So, you will need to use the ing. Practice by making the sentences. Another task, another part of your home assignment is to make 5 sentences with to plus infinitive using these verbs. Expect, intend, pretend, refuse, tend, would prefer, deserve, appear, arrange, and claim. So, these verbs have to be followed by to plus infinitive, which is just generally infinitive. So, this is your home assignment for the next time. Thank you very much for your attention and see you next time. See you on the next lesson.